Well, hello and welcome back to part 15 of the EVA pod build. Today is part 2 of the door assembly. So, not much more to say, so let's take a look. Yeah, so these will work for jumpering. There's plenty of room. The only places it gets real tight is right in here in the center and mainly right there. Other than that, you got some room. And man, is that looking good. Finally getting there. Now once I hit it side, I'm going to have to touch up those little beads that I hit. I didn't think about that I'm going to eventually turn the spray satin over top. Okay. Hurry up, gun, and get hot. Tell by the sizzle it's not there yet. But yeah, this is what we use. So, start tinning some of these. And we can start with this because I think that's where I'm going to grab power from the little micro SMD. Okay. Shivers. Let's get a guesstimate because we're going to do the old hop, skip, and jump thing. So about not far away. And now I can get rid of this. Hopefully it won't pull the rest of the... And it did! Yay! Now what I did is, I just stripped out one end where this here, I kind of guesstimated where I wanted, and it'll actually pull insulation in the middle of the wire. That way I can just, instead of keep cutting and cutting and cutting, I can just solder this, hit that there, loop it through, and just solder it, boom. And then, then the very end one hits to the next strip. And there we go. Let me just take this one. And basically what you did is you used one wire to jump across 3 LED strips. And we'll do the same thing with the negative, and then we'll check it. Sometimes I'll make these at the same time. You can make a bigger loop even for the first one. It's nice, easier to get that one. You need to give them a twist. And you can strip your ends. I should go for the hoop again first. Or I don't think I did it first the first time, but sometimes it's easier. Sweet. Okay, I should get that out of the way too, but let's do a test. go. And I think that's just because these things still have a coating on them. Yeah, see? If I go right to the solder joint. Sweet. A little bit of whiter white with these just 3 light LEDs, and that's okay because they're mainly hitting the explosion bulbs. Okay, now I used 2 little pieces of, what did I do with that? There it is. 2 little pieces of wire off this and jump the positives across there. Let's see if they work. It's positive that way, negative that way. There we go. We have everything. And I used that blue to jumper that there. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Here, the negative I actually used a jumper, but since these are so close to the little, and I made sure that this positive, this is the positive here, this is the positive here, so they were close. I just used a little bit of this wire off of this resistor, snipped it off, and just had a jumper across. There's nowhere it can short, so it'll work fine. Well, hello everyone. Sorry about that. I was running out of memory, so I figured I would dump that card and take a break. And off camera, I went and hit the door with a satin, and then put the 2 other decals on. So those look good. Really happy with that. Then I noticed a little bit of a whiteness, which I expected, on the decal. So I just went and took transparent red and just went around until it covered it. So then when I look through in the light now, it looks red. And then we gotta clean this up. I had to scratch it up a little bit higher because if I look through, now I can see all that red from the decal coming through this way. So now I can go through and blacken off back here so that only the light mainly shines through there, because there's definitely a whiteness when you shine light through it, going up from this corner and up like this. And you see a little bit of a lightness in the black background. So if I can get it as close and as tight up to the red spots back here as possible, and like I said, I'll do the same thing as where I had to clear that off with a knife. Just do that and just take a brush and paint those areas. So that should take care of that. Other than that, she looks good. We just got to continue and finish on this lighting system. I definitely want to make sure I tack these down a little better. So really, we're good all the way around, except for getting power to here, which will power everybody. So we got our negative jumper. We just needed to, we were left off on tinning this wire is where we left off. I heard the camera shut off. Alright, so I figured let's stop. No. Yeah, let's use this one. It's got the shortest end on it. Yeah, because we're bringing that negative. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll tie that negative. Maybe, hopefully. So this is negative. And then I'll just cut this end off and stick the wire through. I think we're going to do the hole in the door panel here. And you'll never see it because it never goes past that point. Because there is, enough lip to do it that way instead of notching this. Let's see if we can make these two. If we bring you from the same angle, usually makes it easier. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll actually solder them kind of together. Well, not kind of, we'll solder them together. Then it kind of makes one wire. And we can trim off the extra. Alright. Do the old tug test. The only bad thing about having the soldering gun iron over on that side is because I'm a righty and now the wire goes across. If I could just, I need to change things around so I can put it on that side. There we go. We should actually be able to stick a 9-volt battery in there and it should go boop. It should come on. I don't know how much juice she has. It wouldn't run it very long, but it's not going to be very bright, but there we go. This is the test, because this is where we can adjust lighting yet. We can move stuff up and down. We didn't permanently tack. I might hit them with a little bit of that glue, but that doesn't really mean anything. Everything seems to be lighting up pretty good. I didn't want that label to be bright. The explosion bolts are lighting up pretty good. My hand's in the way. These are lighting up pretty good. I didn't want that to be super bright. I wanted this to be the brightest thing. The only thing I'm noticing is that could be better. And then we'll put that little SMD right there to really brighten them up, because those should have some brightness too. I think the two brightest lights are those. These are more cautionary lights, and this is, so yeah, I like that. It's got to come over, so it's going to be about here, and it's about center of the two dots. So yeah, and then we'll come off of. I can still come off of that because I can wiggle some wire around here because I don't really want to cut this wire. Here with some super glue there first. Yeah, let's get her tacked down first. Guess we can get this going. We'll need all this on there. Save that for the negative side. I really don't need all that, but just to hold this for now. I can put a little black one on there. And a shrink tube, and put a yellow one I can sleeve over. This little black one I gotta get on there first. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. That wire's so fine. But as soon as it gets next to it, I can't see if it where it's at. It just blends in. There we go. Plus, I'm just getting old and blind. There we go. And all I wanted to do is get rid of that little. No. No. Try to find that. How far did it wiggle its way down there? There we go. That super glue is still chilling. What? This did me something like this to me before. Right? I got a fan. There we go. And I think it's a yellow. That makes it over to. There we go. And sometimes, like I was saving a little piece for that black little wire, I can solder right to that terminal pretty good. Sometimes when you're joining them with like other big wires, if it's going on its own little terminal, but like yeah, if I'm just taking all the negatives and just, you know, combining them, and I got wires that are this thick, and then try to add that thing in there, it doesn't work. So then I'll just take, you know, a little trimming, which I had somewhere. There it is. I'll just take that, solder it on to that wire, you know, and do a little shrink tube so it gives it some strength. And yeah, and then you can, you know, trim it to what you need and wrap wire around it. And actually, then the other wires have something that they can twist around and join to once you solder it. But anyway, let's get working on this. So, since the black one's going to be easier one to loop. So, there's a good spot, but then I can't get my tricky getting the solder gun in there. I'll be burning a cable. Go. Because we want to get that there and rather have it sit. And then we'll tap these. Decide how I want to tack them. Usually super glue, but as long as we've been waiting for super glue lately. We gotta be careful it doesn't block itself. I was almost doing that there. I tack it there. Should be good. There we go. And that is working. Now, I guess I should line it up first before I do that. Hopefully, we got a better, like I said, it doesn't have to be too bright, but hopefully we got a better light. Seems better. Oh, much better. Yep, and I like how the label is not extreme. And the light's so bright it actually washes the red out. That the red doesn't even look red. I'm almost wondering if I should do the whole back or a little more red, but nah, I think it's fine. Alright. Well, that's it then. The lighting for the door is done. We can actually put the door together. Now, everything is nice and cured. Set up. I tacked a few more areas with super glue on these strips. Now that I'm happy where they need to be. Ooh, that was a little wet yet. Still a little humid. So even the super glue is taking a while to dry. Went through this and hit any of the edging. I saw a little bit of white where the decal, just the way it spoons, it didn't hit down there in the center, even though it's nice and tight up there. So I took some of the transparent red and was able to get in there with a brush. You really couldn't see it too bad, especially when it was like this, but I was able to clear that all up. Hit a little silver back here. That seemed to help. Did the transparent red, and that cleared up all the over brightness even on the black of the decal. That was still glowing, because that whole piece of white, the plastic starts to glow. It glows past where you want it to. So yeah, you'll actually have to mask. That's why it's actually good to mask on both sides. But just doing something as simple as just hitting the transparent red there made the red more brilliant, and you didn't see the light kind of highlighting the black area where it was exposed back here. But I think definitely I did a test, definitely hitting a little silver on this side, since the lights are blasting at it, helps it reflect back at this wall and then bounce back at, to help glow these lights. So we're kind of trying to use up all that light that's in there by having it bounce around in there. We're not perfectly aligned, like that's not perfectly behind here. Or even if it is, this bulb might be here and this one might be down here. They're not like right over the... So if it can bounce around and make this whole area glow, it's better. This will work better if it doesn't fit there, it'll fit in here, I think. I think that's right at the edge of where it can grab. Yep. Beautiful. Okay. I draw a little bit of a... And it may also want to grab that piece and snap it. That's the other thing, because just how that one, these regular spiral drills are so notorious for grabbing things and just pulling the bit through. That's why I like step drills bits. There. Well, you got a hole there. Let's see if two of these will go through. Perfect, nice and tight. And maybe what I'll do is I'll take a piece of shrink, or even if I have to do a couple, stiffen it at least here, plus it'll block that hole instead of, or I could just take a little bit of a tulip and go around it too, and that becomes flexible, because it's really made for clothes, writing on clothes, I think, clothing and stuff. Last night I was messing with it. Yeah, and I don't know if we're going to get much of a hot glue spot. I might see if I can get some right here, unless I bring these wires like this, and then it has it lift in here, which I could do. That way I have stress relief here, and there's no stress on that junction there. But really, honestly, I don't think I have to. Once I do that, I mean, I could see if it holds it there, but I think it's going to pop off. But once I do that, it's in this hole, and I hit that with something. Nope, it's working. Oh, let's try it. Said I don't know. It might have oozed out everything it had. Yeah. I gotta get another stick. It dripped out a little bit, and that's all I would have needed. There we go. Let it take to the last box. Let's see if there's still any hot warm stuff in here. Alright, that's all I need. Clean this tip. So. Alright, I guess we're... Well, first of all, let's see how that glue positioned these wires. Are they going to be a pain now? That's why I should watch it position them right where it's going to want to be in that peg, since that peg's right there. No, it's pulling away just nicely. Alright. So we can start adding some glue. The easy way to do that would be to use this. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to put some down in the holes. And I think I can sneak the thin stuff down in the cracks. Are you kidding me? Little pieces of tape help too. That's where I started putting little pieces of tape on the feet of my bigger clamps. I haven't done it before. They give them a little more cushion too. Alright, let's get you. Here. I picked these up at Wonderfest, and I'm glad I did. I always found once in a while my other ones are too strong for like a thing like this door. Tape does have stickiness to it. I have one more of these little ones. Yes, I do. Yeah, I bought a bunch. I had these red handle ones, which are pretty. You can see where I put, and then I got these, which are a lot stronger than the red handle ones. And then I got these little ones, which are great. And then don't go into the dollar store for cheap things. These little guys here, they have like a latex tip on them. But still, you'd want to do the same thing. It does help a little bit with not marking, but sometimes this latex can react to paints and solvents, so you gotta be careful. Alright, well, we can let that sit, but that was more painless than I thought. I could probably do a little bit of this right there, because this seam's on this where I can see it, and it won't run into a clamp area where it can soften the paint. Let's get away with putting a clamp right there. Maybe one of these little ones. There's a soft one. I was thinking about just grabbing that like that. How's it grabbing the outside? Alright, well, we'll let that sit. Seems like pretty good, especially this is the side that's most that we're going to see. So that's where we're going to be at. We're going to start getting the getting these lights put together. I had to build light boxes for these 3 red lights. These up front are going to be so close that I'm really just going to have to put them right on that piece and figure out how to. I think I'm just going to cover it with like some type of tape. Maybe do a piece of masking tape over top of the SMD and then some silver tape over top of the masking to act as a blocking tape. But I got to put some masking on top of the SMD because the silver tape is conductive. So, and that's what we'll do to light block that. And I think that'll make those quick. And then the center one, there's plenty of room. I'll do a circular thing, and I'm not sure. I think it's just going to be 2 strips of LEDs, high density. Should cover that center part of the dome. But till then, thanks for watching, and see you soon.